For exercise 5-7, again, it's a metric file, so I'm going to go to New, select my metric template, save this drawing. Here's EX5-7. And for this one here, again, I'm going to use the block method. So I'm going to draw a rectangle that is 100 by 30. And that's going to give me the basis for my front view. A new rectangle, which is going to be 25 by 25. Rectangle for my right side view. And the dimensions I'm looking at for this are the height and the depth. So this is going to be 50 by 30. Go ahead and do my last one right here, which is going to be negative 100 by 50. So there are my three views, pretty much just laid out the way that they would be. Now, keeping in mind with the philosophy that we used for the sketching, I'm going to have a little L shape over here, a rectangle here, a rectangle in the middle, and then the opposite on the other side. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm just going to start by drawing a line, and I'm going to hover over this point and track off to the right and say 10, enter. That is going to come down 15. And then even though the book does not look like it, this object is symmetrical. It says 30 in two places even though it looks weird on the one side. So that lets me know that this dimension right here is going to be 20. So there is the L shape that I was looking for originally. Now, this next piece comes out 40. So I'm going to draw a line hovering here, tracking off to the right, going 40. And this line here is going to come down to what would be right here and come across. So I've got my L shape, I've got my little rectangular shape. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to mirror, selecting just these objects around the mirror point, or around the midpoint of this. So you can see I now have all the L shapes that I need. One line between here and here will connect that, and then trimming out this line gives me my front view. So we can see I've got the two L shapes, the rectangle here, and the rectangle here. That's all the visible lines that I have for this view, so I'm going to stop right there. For this particular view, everything in it's going to be a hidden line. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my top view before I get into that view. So let me go ahead and put my miter line in. Another trick that you can use for the miter line is if you take the depth, which in this case is 50. If you draw a line 50 by 50, or 50 comma 50, and hit enter, it'll give you a 45-degree line that is the exact length you need to match up with the rest of your parts. So now I can come in here. I know that this is going to come right to here, and it's going to go up 40. And then based on the previous dimensioning, this is going to come over 30, and then go back to the edge. I've got another line that is going to be coming off of here 30, and it's going to go back 25. That's this line right here. Now again, I can use the same thing that I did with the front view. I can mirror these lines right here because I know that they're going to be the same on both sides. And now I can draw a line between here and here and trim out that front piece. So in looking at the top view, we've got this shape right here and then our two upside down L shapes, and that's everything that we need for that particular view. This view, on the other hand, is going to be the view that's a little bit more complex. So what I'm going to do is switch over to my hidden line layer, and my layer is blue. It may be a little bit hard to see on the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color of that layer to yellow just so you all can see it. And now I'm going to draw my lines over here. And basically what I'm doing right now is I'm just doing all of the lines that could be projected in this view. So basically anything that is a horizontal line in this view, I've projected over here and turned into a vertical line over here. And I'm going to do the same thing right here. I'm just going to draw that straight over. Now, when we take a look at this L shape right here is something that I definitely want to keep. So let me get this L shape where it needs to be. So now we can see that L shape. And then this line right here is what's representative of this cut. So I can trim that and trim that. Now I'm going to go ahead and erase all of the hidden line segments that I still have left on here and put back the one that I accidentally forgot to trim. So now when we look, yes, there's an edge here. It is not visible in the right side, or there's an edge here. It's not visible in the right side view. So it gets represented by this. This edge exists, but it's not visible over here, so it's a hidden line over here. And then this edge exists, but it's not visible in the right side view, so it's the hidden line right here. Now that I've got all of that stuff in place, I'm just going to go ahead and switch to the dimension layer to save myself a few seconds. Draw my diagonal lines. Since I know I'm going to be changing these to the check layer anyway, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to move all of this from the midpoint here to the midpoint here. Then we'll take my miter line, my spacing rectangle, everything else, and change the layer to my check layer. Close out that little box. Turn off my check layer, and now I'm ready to begin my dimensioning. The dimensioning for this one, again, just going to start by doing pretty much my overall dimensions. This is going to be 100, this is going to be 50, and this is going to be 30. I can now come in here and do the dimension of 30. And again, there's not a ton of dimensions on this, so there's really no point in me putting 30 in two places when I can get away with doing just one dimension to cover everything. We'll put my dimension right here in of 15. Put my dimension from here to here in at 10. Now we can do the all around thing, or just put another dimension on here at 10 and here at 10. And then I'll place my two dimensions right here in at the 40, again, rather than doing the two places. And I've got my height of 15 in here, so let me go ahead and now verify that I've got all my dimensions. I need the 25 right here also. Now, there is no gap right here, but that's because the arrow is what's actually touching the line, so that's okay. So I can see that I've got my 100, my 25, my two 30s, my 15, my two 40s, the 10 all the way around, the 50, the overall height of 30, and it looks like I've got all of my dimensions. So again, verify all my dimensions, go ahead and save my file, and that's going to complete exercise 5-7.